Hi, we'll talk today about intercepts. We have two types of intercepts. We have the x-intercepts and we have the y-intercepts. Let's focus now on the x-intercepts. To find the x-intercepts, we have to set the value of y in the equation to 0. And when we set the value of y to 0, we will get the values of x, which are the intercepts of the x-axis. Let's move to the y-intercepts. To find the y-intercepts, we have to set the x value of the equation to 0. And when we set the x value to 0, we will find the y-intercepts. These are the y-intercepts of this graph here. Let's see an example. So example number 1 says, find the x and y-intercepts of the graph of the equation y equals x to the power 2 minus 2. So we want to find the x-intercepts in first. So to find the x-intercept, we have to set the value of y to 0. And we have this equation. Let me just write it again. So we'll have y equals to x to the power 2 minus 2. And we know from here that y equals to 0. So 0 would equal to x to the power 2 minus 2. And we'll just move this 2 to the other side. So we will have 2 equals x to the power 2. Now we can just take the square root of both sides. And since the power is an even number, we have to put plus and minus. So we will have x equals to plus and minus the square root of 2. So we have two x-intercepts. We have plus the square root of 2 and we have minus the square root of 2. Now we will find the y-intercepts. So the y-intercepts, to find them, we have to set the value of x to 0. I will write the equation again. So we'll have y equals x to the power 2 minus 2. And since x equals 0, y would equal to 0 to the power 2 minus 2, and the value of y would equal 0 to the power 2, it's 0 minus 2, so y would equal to minus 2. So we have just one y-intercept, which is minus 2. Let's see another example. So example number 2 says, find the x and y-intercepts of the graph of the following equation. We have this equation and we want to find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts. So to find the x-intercepts, we have to set the value of y to 0. So I will just write the equation again. So we'll have x to the power 2 over 9 plus y to the power 2 over 4 equals to 1. Now we know that the value of y equals 0. So x to the power 2 over 9 plus 0 to the power 2 over 4 would equal to 1. Now this term will cancel because 0 divided by a number, it's 0. So here we will have x to the power 2 over 9 equals to 1. Now we can just multiply by 9 in both sides. So this 9 and this 9 would cancel. So we will have here x to the power 2 equals to 9. Now we can just take the square root of both sides. So we'll have x to the power 2, we'll take the square root, and here we'll have a plus and minus the square root of 9. Here we will have x equals to plus and minus 3, and these are the x-intercepts. Now we want to find the y-intercepts. So let me just clean this up. So to find the y-intercepts, we have to set the value of x to 0. So let me just write the equation again. X to the power 2 over 9 plus y to the power 2 over 4 equals to 1. So the value of x is 0, so we'll just substitute. So 0 to the power 2 over 9 with plus y to the power 2 over 4, that would equal to 1. This 9. So 0 to the power 2 over 9 is nothing but 0, so we can just remove it. So we will have y to the power 2 over 4, that would equal to 1. Now we can just multiply by 4 in both sides. So as you can notice, this 4 and this 4 will be gone. And we will have y to the power 2 equals to 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. Now we can just take the square root for both sides, and we will have plus and minus the square root of 4. So y would equal plus and minus 2. Just remember, we have to add the plus and minus when we have the power of 2 or any even number. Let's see another example. So example number 3 says, consider the equation, and we have the equation A, graph the equation in the viewing rectangle, and we have the viewing rectangle coordinates. So we will use Dismus to graph this equation at the view rectangle. Just go to the dismus.com/calculator and draw it with me. So I'll just draw the rectangle first. So we will have here x equals minus 5, and then we have x equals 3, and for the y coordinates we have y equals minus 5, and we have y equals 5. So we have drawn this rectangle, so you can just see it here. After we are drawing the rectangle, we have to draw the function. So y equals x to the power 3 plus 3x to the power 2 minus x minus 3. So we have this equation. We have this graph here. So as you can notice, we have the y-intercepts, they are clear here. So let's see part B. So part B says find the x-intercepts from the graph. So as you can notice, we have 3 x-intercepts in this graph. So this coordinate is x equals minus 3, and this coordinate is x equals minus 1, and this coordinate is x equals 1. So the x-intercepts are x equals minus 3, x equals minus 1, and x equals 1. Let's see part C. Verify your answer to part B algebraically. So we have these x-intercepts and we have this equation here. So we're gonna substitute and we should get y equals 0. So y would equal to x to the power 3 plus 3x to the power 2 minus x minus 3. Let's substitute with the first point. So y would equal to minus 3 to the power 3 plus 3 minus 3 to the power 2 minus 3 minus 3. So y would equal to minus 3 to the power 3 is minus 27, plus here we have 3 multiplied by minus 3 to the power 2, which is 9. So we'll have 9 multiplied by 3, which is 27, minus 3, so it's plus 3, and we have a minus 3. So y would equal to, as you can notice, this would cancel, and this would cancel, so we'll have 0. So we have checked the first x-intercept. Let's do the next one. Let me just delete this. The next x-intercept is x equals minus 1, so we're gonna substitute. So y equals minus 1 to the power 3 plus 3 minus 1 to the power 2 minus 1 minus 3. So y would equal to, here's minus 1 to the power 3, it's minus 1, plus 3 multiplied by minus 1 to the power 2, it's 3, minus 1 is plus 1 minus 3. So as you can notice, this minus 1 and this 1 will be gone, this 3 and this minus 3 would gone too. So y would equal to 0. And we have checked this point too. Let's check the last point. So in the last point we have x equals 1. So y would equal to 1 to the power 3 plus 3 multiplied by 1 minus 1 minus 3. So y would equal to 1 plus 3 multiplied by 1 is 3 minus 1 minus 3. And as you can notice here, we can cancel this 1 and this minus 1. We can cancel this plus 3 and this minus 3. So we will have y equals 0. And by this, we have checked all the points and we have y equal to 0. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. And goodbye.